Hello everyone, thank you so much for clicking on today's video and welcome to my channel. In today's video, OP reaches out to Reddit to ask if he's the a-hole for walking out on a blind date. Except as you know with these stories, there's much more to the situation than what meets the eye. And as it turns out, things are much more darker in the update. Stay tuned for the update to find out what happens. And if you do like the story, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a thumbs up. And before we move on to the story, I just wanted to take a second to thank all of my subscribers. Thank you so much, guys. For those of you that don't know, I have a personal goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers. So if you like my content and would like to support my channel, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the subscribe button. Anyways, thank you so much for your time and on to the story. Am I the a-hole for walking out on a double date my friend set up with him, his girlfriend, and a girl that I had already rejected before? So I feel like I need to say this for the post not to be removed. This is not about the date, about the relationship or something. I just want a judgment on me walking out of there. The people in the story are me, a 25-year-old male, Joe, a 26-year-old male, and Jane, a 24-year-old female. To give you a little background of the situation, I met Jane through Joe's girlfriend at her birthday party last year. At first, Jane was fun to talk to, but not even an hour later, she was really into me and tried really badly to hit on me during the party, which pretty much ruined my time there as the feeling was not mutual in the slightest bit. Also, at the time, I was already with someone. So the first impression I got from Jane was that she was clingy, annoying, and just wouldn't stop bothering me. Unfortunately for me, she became a part of my larger friend group because she's a part of Joe's girlfriend's friend group. That's a mouthful, sheesh. And because me and Joe hang out a lot and I'm also friends with his girlfriend, I pretty much run into her at a minimum twice a month. So the first time Jane asked me out was about a month after that party. I informed her that I was with someone and not interested. She tried again about 2 months later when I broke up with my then girlfriend. Again, I declined her advanced and I told her that I wasn't interested. I got into a new relationship not long after, but unfortunately she and I broke up about 2 months ago. Since then, as you might have anticipated, Jane has asked me out again, and I said no again. Well, that brings us up to this week. Everything has been opening up here, and Joe's been trying to fix me up with a friend of his girlfriend and would not tell me who. He's also well aware of me having rejected Jane multiple times, and the fact that I'm not interested in her, he knows this in detail. After a lot of what he calls convincing and I call whining, I had no interest in dating anytime soon. I relented and decided to agree to this double date idea of his. We agree on meeting at Joe's apartment and lo and behold, Joe, his girlfriend, and Jane are occupying the dinner table, obviously intending for my date to be Jane. I honestly just got so angry that I couldn't even get a single word out. I turned around and left. I've been bombarded with texts and calls about how much of a horrible person I am and how terribly I hurt Jane and so on, and I'm like, I literally rejected her 3 times. I'm not interested in her. You knew that. Your girlfriend knew that. Our entire friends group has a running joke about obsessive Janes for F's sake. So literally everyone knows it. So am I the a-hole? The overwhelming verdict was not the a-hole. One Redditor said, "You've made your feelings more than clear to Jane and your friends as well. You had every right to leave, as you had already rejected her 3 times, and still she set herself up for rejection number 4. You're not responsible for her hurt feelings at this point. Your friends should have known better than to blindside you with a date with someone he knows full well you have 0 interest in. Though if I might venture a guess, I'd say that the double date was 100% Jane's and your friend's girlfriend's idea, so your friend most likely just got pressured into convincing you to come." To which OP replied, "Even so, he's one of my best friends. He shouldn't be screwing me over like that. Even if it was 100% their idea, I still do blame Joe the most. Another Redditor said, "Not the a-hole, but your friend obviously is. Setting someone up with someone who rejected that person is cruel. Not the fact that you turned around. I would honestly have done the same." To which OP replied, "I feel pretty horrible about it though. Regardless of my opinion on Jane, that must have stung." Another Redditor asked for more information. They quote OP saying, "He's well aware of me having rejected Jane multiple times, and the fact that I'm not interested in her. He knows this in detail." And the Redditor says, "Any chance that your rejection of her could have been seen as playful? Any chance that you were kind of proud of the attention and maybe responded positively when she showed interest because it gave you a confidence boost? In general, how clear and explicit were you about not being interested? Because to me, the situation reads like your friend thought that there was a chance that you would enjoy this date." To which OP replied, "If playful usually includes something like, 'Sorry, I'm not interested in you that way, so please stop asking me out,' which was roughly the latest rejection." Another Redditor said, "If they were smart, they wouldn't have set that up. It's like they were hungry for control in someone's life, and they took your love life as an easy target. Or Jane convinced them to do so despite well knowing your stance about all of this, which definitely says something about how she would be in a relationship. I would be yelling too, 'What a bunch of horrible a-holes,' but you, sir, are not the a-hole." To which OP replied, "I honestly do not know exactly what went through their heads to come to the decision that this was a brilliant idea, and I'm not sure whether I will find out, as I'm honestly doubting whether I will stay friends with them. After having more of a think and realizing that I am not really the a-hole, despite the fact that I felt guilty, I've seen one common theme in a lot of replies, and that is that Jane's behavior is obsessive and stalkerish, and honestly, it is. They both knew this too, and decided to set me up with her anyway, which honestly leaves room for a slew of other issues." It's been a little under 2 months, and I've received quite a few requests to make an update over the past 9 or so weeks. At first, I was going to make one a week or 3 ago, but I decided against it and instead chose to wait till I had some proper updates. But well, here goes. At any rate, like I said, here goes. It turns out that some of the more pessimistic of you were right. Jane was being obsessive and stalkerish, and it sort of all came tumbling down on her at that point. A week or so after I made my post, she decided to message me. Well, it came down to her not understanding why I was showing interest in her and then refusing to date her. I never showed any interest in her beyond basic friendliness. A wall of text dedicated to thrashing my previous relationships and calling them all sorts of names, specifically pointing out how I quote-unquote dated the wrong girls, and a weird rant about how everyone agreed that me and her were meant to be, which just isn't the case. Like I said in my previous post, there's a running joke in our friends group about how weird she is. Now, you might think that this is something that can be expected, something that just happens, an outlet for her of sorts, except she sent it from the wrong account. See, I had become internet friends with a person in the past month or 2. Me and her would game together, chat from time to time, you know, the usual organic internet friend situation, and the messages concerning our quote-unquote date were sent from this account. Turns out that she had literally used this alias to infiltrate my internet friend group and keep tabs on me of sorts. Obviously, this freaked me the F out. I took screenshots of what she had sent me and afterwards blocked all accounts that I knew now she was using. I followed that up by sharing everything in our friend Discord and in our friend's WhatsApp group so that everyone could see. This resulted in her being kicked from both, and I later got a call from Joe full-on apologetic, telling me that he had no idea and that he knew he shouldn't have done it, but that his girlfriend was being pressured by Jane. Turns out that Jane had literally been complaining to her for months to arrange something like this, and she finally caved. Again, creepy stuff. I told him that I needed some time as he really effed me over big time and I don't trust him anymore as a result. While Jane has been shunned by all friends, she still contacted me twice. Once to apologize, which then quickly turned into a weird show where she started talking about quote-unquote us she seems convinced that there is an us and I'm interested, and another time just to curse at me, both from random accounts. I'm not sure where to go from here and I'm still pretty shook up. So guys, what did you think about this? Please let me know in the comments down below. Honestly, this update kind of freaked me out. I personally believe that our justice system is not set up to navigate stalker situations effectively. Like, I do understand and appreciate that it's very difficult, in the legal sense at least, to navigate the framework between stalkerish behaviors and personal freedom. That being said, as some people pointed out in the comments, I do hope that OP documented everything with the police. For the most part, the police wouldn't have done anything, but that being said, in order to get a restraining order in the future, depending on where he lives, I do think that it's very important that the police have it on record about all of the things that happened. I do find it slightly disturbing though that at least the US's justice system is not able to keep up with all of the problems that arise from modern day society, especially the problems related to the internet. All that I can really do is hope that they are able to fix it in the future. Anyways, I do wish the best for OP. I hope that he's alright. I hope that he has a wonderful life and that he's able to move on from this. This was a couple of years ago and he hasn't posted since, so I'm just going to assume that everything's great. Anyways, I do hope that you enjoyed this story. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a thumbs up. And please subscribe if you'd like to hear more stories from Reddit with updates.